This is our wearable art challenge, and I did a little bit of looking on the internet to find some different things. I decided I wanted to do a hat. Now you can choose to do any kind of wearable art that you want. Remember that the wearable art should feature your preferred name somehow. It's a great way for us to get to know each other a little bit better. So I was thinking about maybe a crown, and then I was thinking about maybe doing a headdress of some kind. And I'm really enjoying the headdress. I think that the opportunity to create a lot of pattern and rhythm with the feathers is great, and I like the headband. It'll give me an opportunity to put my name on it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with the headdress option. Now you can choose to do any kind of wearable art as long as you can make it out of this, what I call oak tag, white oak tag board. You'll have a lot of materials at your discretion to use, including colored paper and alcohol markers, which are really brilliant and beautiful. And then we'll have different types of attachment. There's different kinds of tapes. There will be hot glue. Things like that will be available to you. I just wanted to kind of show you how I would start with my project. Remember that you have the freedom to design any kind of wearable art that you would like, as long as it features your name. I would also like you to try to use some symmetry. That's where if you cut something down the middle, it's the same on each side. So some kind of symmetry is involved. For instance, with my crown, if I cut it down the middle, it's the same on the left as it is on the right. If it's not symmetrical, it would be called asymmetrical, where it's different. It's different from one axis to the next. So some degree of symmetry would be lovely, and then some repetition. And both of these inspiration images that I've chosen fit the bill, where we have repetition of the same shapes happening over and over. And then here we have repetition of the feathers, repetition in these bead type things, repetition in pattern. So what are our expectations on this one again? One, it's wearable art. Two, you use your preferred name on the art clearly somewhere. And three, that we're utilizing some symmetry and repetition. So when I get started, one of the things that I need to know is how big do I need my headband to go around my head? If it's too small, I can't wear it. And a great way to do that, if you don't have a tape measure, which we don't have sewing tape measures in the studio, is just to get a piece of thread or cord that's not real stretchy. Like yarn's not a good option because it stretches. And then just take it and wrap it around your head, and then you can mark the end with a piece of tape, and that'll also give you a little bit of overlap so that you can either glue your edges together or clip them together however you want. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this around my head. I've got headphones on, so it's not going to be perfect, but it's good. So I'm going to just tag that, and I might even cut off the extra here so that I don't get confused as to what side is the right side. Now I left myself a little bit of extra so that my material can come all the way around and overlap. So I'm going to decide, oh, look at that. It looks like my head is just barely the length. It's just a little over the length of this this piece of paper. So I'm in good luck. Some of you with bigger heads than me might have to add some more, cut some paper from the top and add it to the side to make it long enough, which is fine. So then I'm going to start thinking about designing. I'm going to look at my inspiration image, and I tell you, when you're creating something, especially when we're looking at sculpture, having an inspiration image or having multiple images can make all the difference. So the first thing I'm going to be looking at is how wide do I want the band in the front to go, and then just drawing that out. Now when I'm drawing on my material, I would want to use a pencil and a light sketch mark. Artists use pencils and writing materials in a lot of different ways, and one of the ways is when we use very light marks to mark our material so that we can change our mind. I'm going to be using just a pen so you can see it on the screen. So I've got a ruler here, and when we start using or creating something and using a material, we always want to take whatever we need from the material from the edge, from the salvage. We don't want to draw it out in the middle and then we have all this cutting and then all this waste around whatever we're doing. We're always going to take what we need off of the edge. That's called the salvage, the edge. So I've got a ruler so that because I can't draw a straight line. I may be an art teacher, but I can't draw a straight line. And I think that I want the headband portion to be 3.5. No, I'll do 3 inches. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to use my ruler and I'm going to mark my 3-inch mark every so often so that I get it nice and even all the way across. Now I'm just showing you how I'm going about doing the project that I've decided on. You have a lot of creative freedom in this class as long as you're meeting the criteria that's set. I love it. I love to see what your brain does and where it goes. And it's okay to kind of stick with my recommendations and do things similar to what I've done when you don't have your own ideas or you're not super comfortable with what I'm asking you to do. That's an okay thing too. I do highly suggest you taking a few minutes before you get started to find a few inspiration images. Take a screenshot of it or download it to your computer, whatever works for you. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this off. And you'll have to excuse my not perfect cutting. I don't want you to have to wait for 5 minutes while I try to cut a perfect line. So now I've got the beginning of my headdress here, and I can take it to my forehead and kind of check and see if I'm liking it. And I probably want to find the center of this so I know how to center my name, and I really do need a pencil because I'm going to want to erase lines that I make. At this paper, if I measure it, it goes to the 15 there, and then so 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. This is a 25-inch long piece of paper, and so I need to find the middle. Now you could say, well, why don't you just fold it like this? Well, you can do that. You can fold it. But what happens there, once you crease your paper, you can't uncrease it, right? So if I had measured and then divided in half, I would know that, that the half mark was at 12 inches. I guess it's a 24-inch piece of paper. I would know my half mark was at 12 inches, and I could just kind of, with my pencil, just make a real soft mark, so that I know what's dead center in the front on my forehead. Because remember, one of the things that is required for this lesson is to feature your name somehow. So I see that that's my center, and so we're pretending I'm using a pencil. I would like you to, to try to use a pencil and when you're making these planning marks. I'm just going to go ahead and take my string, and I'm going to measure like from my temple across my forehead to my other temple, so I know what the front of my face length is. So I've got about this much space. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab some.
I gotta get some paper.
I'm going to grab some more tape, and I'm going to just mark that there, and then I can take it and lay it on my band that I'm working on, and I can see that's about how much distance I have to start incorporating my name design there. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball that. I'm gonna mark it from there to there, and so I've got about this much space to work my name in. And I'm gonna do all this again with pencil, so I don't have the fold mark. I just wanted you to see how you don't want a fold mark in the front. And then I've got my marks to show how my wide my face is, so I can put my name here, because I want to meet that expectation for the class. So I'm going to go ahead and recreate this and work my name into it, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to design the other features of my wearable art, my headdress.